Parshat Va'era opens with a profound shift in history. God tells Moses that he appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but that they did not know him by the name that now will be revealed. The patriarchs believed, they trusted, they lived with promises that were never fully fulfilled in their lifetime. Their faith was quiet and patient. But in Va'era, faith moves from promise to action. God is no longer only spoken about, he is about to be seen. This is the beginning of revelation through experience. And with that revelation comes responsibility. The first challenge Moses faced is not Pharaoh, it is the people themselves. The Torah tells us that the Israelites did not listen to Moses because of shortness of spirit and harsh labor. Their suffering made them unable to hear hope. Pain didn't make them rebellious, it made them exhausted. Sometimes the very situation that demands faith is the thing that makes faith hardest to access. Va'era teaches us that truth can be present, spoken clearly, and still unheard, not because people reject it, but because they are overwhelmed. Pharaoh, however, is different. He hears, he understands, he sees, and he still refuses. Each plague strips away another excuse. The Nile turns to blood, frogs invade every space, Egypt's systems fail publicly and repeatedly. Pharaoh's magicians can imitate some signs, but not undo them. The truth becomes clearer with every step, yet Pharaoh's heart hardens. This is not ignorance, this is resistance. Va'era teaches that when someone repeatedly chooses denial, denial becomes their identity. The heart doesn't harden all at once, it hardens through choice. One of the most striking moments in Va'era is subtle but powerful. Before the plague of hail, Moses issues a warning, and the Torah tells us that some of Pharaoh's own courtiers feared the word of God. They brought their servants and livestock indoors. Others ignored the warning and suffered devastating losses. This moment changes everything. It tells us that belief was possible, even in Egypt, even among Pharaoh's inner circle, which means Pharaoh's refusal was no longer about doubt, it was about defiance. And here the Torah teaches one of its deepest moral principles. God does not punish people for what they could not reasonably know, but he does hold accountable those who hear, understand, and still ignore. Responsibility grows with clarity. The plagues are not just punishments, they are lessons. Each plague dismantles a false belief about power, control, nature, and authority. Egypt's gods are exposed as illusions. Pharaoh's image of himself as untouchable begins to crumble. But redemption does not begin with freedom, it begins with awareness. Long before the Israelites leave Egypt physically, Egypt begins to collapse spiritually. Va'era shows us that redemption starts internally when truth is acknowledged, when lies are confronted, when choices are made. And that is why Va'era still speaks to us, because we all encounter moments where truth becomes clear, moments when we hear something we cannot unhear, moments when doing nothing becomes a decision, moments we either act or harden. Va'era asks us a quiet but piercing question. When you hear, when you understand, when the warning is clear, what do you do next? Because once truth becomes undeniable, neutrality disappears, and response becomes responsibility.